Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships for update 12.7, the Lüshun at the Dockyard. New Dockyard event coming to World of Warships. We're going to cover the new update that will come on Wednesday, so tomorrow, as you're watching this on Tuesday, and I record this on Monday. So my goal is to just get through the content of this article and not taking super long. I'm really hoping for 20 minutes, but we'll see. So I might not be going in full depth of everything. If you want to know more details, you can just simply hop in here on the article. I'll link it down below. I guess it'd just be the NA article is normally what I link in. But the overview of update 12.7 is the Dockyard event, Concealed Maneuvers Stage 2, an event called Steel Will, Battle Pass, visual and audio enhancements, the Armory, the trade-in. Some of you have been asking me about that, so I think they're going to have a designated article on that soon. Ranked battles, clan battles, brawls, various improvements and changes, return of the Arpeggio of Blue Steel Ars Nova, if you're interested in that, content additions and changes, and then also other changes and improvements. So I feel like just looking at this, they're like visual, audio enhancements, various improvements and changes, content addition and changes, other changes, improvements. I could have just like lumped that like all together. They like use changes multiple times. But there's a video, so if you want to watch that, you can do so. I'm not going to do it in this. You'll be able to take a day of premium for free out of the article. I've already picked mine up. I kind of went through this article already just to help me be mindful of what I should focus in on and hopefully helping you out. So the new Dockyard ship coming is going to be a Tier 10 ship. It's going to be a Pan-Asian premium destroyer. And I think this one will probably be on the expensive side in being a Tier 10 ship. I'm sure there's probably going to be some more stages you're going to have to purchase. We'll see. The ship is armed with 4 130mm main battery guns housed in 2 turrets, as you're seeing here in the picture. She has a high firing rate and great damage per minute for her AP shells. They have flat trajectory ballistics, meaning she can effectively fire over long ranges. As for her torpedo armament, it's represented by 2 quintuple tube torpedo launchers armed with deep water torpedoes. So you get 10 torpedoes or deep water torpedoes. Ship has low maneuverability but good concealment. I mean, honestly, looking at the destroyer, it looks rather sizable, but I don't know if that's just because of the picture. So I have to see. She's distinguished by an unusual set of consumables, access to the heavy repair teams with long operation in cooldown times and a hydroacoustic search, but she doesn't have the engine boost or smoke generator. Okay, so the heavy repair teams, that's the same thing they have on Sevastopol. It has a long cooldown time but a long operation time. Maybe that's the same thing. You can correct me if that's wrong, if I'm wrong in the comments. Construction process comprises of 35 phases, 30 of which can be progressed through by completing Dockyard combat groups. Mission groups. Okay, so I figured it'd probably be like 6 phases you'd have to spin doubloons on, but it looks like only 5, so not too shabby there, at least in that regard. Normally it can be 4 if it's like Tier 8, Tier 9 Dockyard event. You can also complete shipbuilding phases by spending 1,950 doubloons per phase and purchasing starter packs. 10 shipbuilding phases in exchange for 11,000 doubloons, and 5 shipbuilding phases, which is the minimum you need, in exchange for 7,000 doubloons, so that is technically a discount. And I'm kind of wondering, I don't remember every specific Dockyard phase in the past being 1,950 doubloons. I thought they were 1,500 a pop. I wonder if they increased the cost. The Dockyard combat missions can be completed during a period that spans Update 12.7, Update 12.8, and the first 3 weeks of Update 12.9. The Dockyard will remain in your port until the release of Update 12.10. Okay, so what was the name of the Dockyard in the last ship Dockyard event? I picked up the ship. Oh, shoot, can't remember it. Anyhow, let's see. Concealed Maneuver Stage 2, Update 12.7. Features the second stage of Concealed Maneuvers. It's going to be continue on in the 9v9 format. However, this time it's going to be at Tier 9 and Tier 10 ships. So if maybe some ships you grinded in Concealed Maneuvers at Tier 7s and Tier 8, You can now continue on grinding in Tier 9, Tier 10. I myself am planning to grind some more ships, my Tier 9 ships that I've been working on in Concealed Maneuvers. It's a really good place to grind ships. Decent rewards, is maybe not as stressful as random battles can be. So you'll be able to rent the Essex or the Taiho. You probably have to get 5,000 base XP in playing Concealed Maneuvers before they give you access to either carrier. Whether you want to utilize the airdropped minefield or the air deployed smoke screens. So Essex, pretty big, and then Taiho. Of course, both of these being Tier 10 CVs. For this iteration of Concealed Maneuvers, players can participate helming submarines. So you couldn't in the last Concealed Maneuvers play submarines in Tier 7, Tier 8. So that was one of the reasons why I was really personally enjoying Concealed Maneuvers. But now they're allowing submarines, so I think they wanted to test probably with and without mechanics, but they should probably know that without submarines it probably led to more players contributing. So maybe this takes some submarine players away from randoms and stuff. We'll have to see. This ship type also interacts with minefields. Each mine has a mooring cable attached to it. If a submarine comes into contact with a cable, the mine will explode and deal damage. The amount of damage and chances of critical damage being inflicted beyond distance between submarine and the mine, which, I mean, honestly, they protect submarine class so much you can. It's just ridiculous with the damage saturation. So that's interesting. So cable. So they're testing a different type of mine in mind of submarines as well. Okay. Steel Will, if I'm saying that right. Update 12.7 features an event called Steel Will. As part of the event, you can get the Ruggiero di Lauria. Just throwing an Italian accent on that. It's a battle cruiser project with 8 457mm guns. More 457mm guns on top of the soon coming Japanese battleship line. More overmatch. Will be available exchange for steel in the Armory. It was the largest ship ever designed for the Italian Navy. So I've seen this in some testers playing this on the live server. Seems kind of interesting. The ship's guns are armed with the mighty semi-armor piercing shells as well as AP shells. So these are going to be the largest SAP shells in the game. With standard characteristics, so they have a short firing range. The ship stands out for high speed, effective armor against HE shells, so probably going to be some thick, maybe some 40-50mm, maybe more, I don't know, deck plating and stuff. Low detectability, her high positioned citadel, modest HP pool, and weak AA defenses are her notable disadvantages. So that's kind of a sucks in playing Tier 10, and you have poor CVs or poor AA when you're dealing with Tier 10 CVs and Super CVs. Her consumable set includes Enhanced Repair Party, which restores 33% of citadel damage, and choice between fighter and spotting aircraft. I didn't see them say anything about an exhaust smoke generator. Looks like she's not getting it, so at least if it does, it doesn't say on here. An update 12.7, the ship in made of steel permanent camouflage will be available in exchange for 36,000 steel. The ship will be added to the Armory on a permanent basis in a future update. Now, let's talk about that. I'm going to open up my Armory here in World of Warships, and we're going to look at steel ships. So the most expensive steel ship you can obtain right now is the FDR for 33,000 steel, or you have 3 Tier 10 battleships here, ranging from 32 and 31,000 steel. So my guess is when they do decide to bring the ship into the Armory for steel, if that is what they do intend to do, I'm not entirely sure. It'll probably be for 32 or 31,000 steel, somewhere in there. So if you can't wait on the ship and you buy it now, it's gonna cost you more steel. I'm just gonna guess. I don't see any way that they would bring this ship into the Armory for 36,000 steel once it permanently comes into the game. But this is probably, Wargaming likes to let some time elapse before when they do the special event ships. I'm looking at you, Brisbane right? We've been waiting on Brisbane for how long now? 4 or 5 months since the last she was available during the King of the Seas tournament, so it's been a bit back. So you might be waiting 3, 4, 5 months for the ship to become available. Now there's nothing here that says anything about a coupon, right? So you get to utilize your coupon, 25% off steel. So if you wait, maybe you have a lot of steel ships and you really want to save more steel, then I would probably just say wait. But if you can't pass it up or you have plenty of steel, maybe this isn't the time you want to pick it up. But it sounds like it's just more of a drain on your steel resource. So just keep that in mind. In general, my recommendation, without knowing entirely Wargaming's intentions, I would say wait for it to officially come into the Armory, as it should be cheaper. If they're going to sell it for steel, there's no way they're going to sell it for 36,000. That's just, that'd be inflation. And they're talking about wanting to lower inflation in the game. Hence the tragedy of the 8th anniversary. Let's see. Okay, I don't think I really need to say anything else. There'll be a permanent camouflage you can pick up for incomparable, the North Sea permanent camouflage. It will be on sale. These camouflages will no longer be available for ranked and clan tokens, and the tokens themselves will be removed from the game and converted into steel. 1 ranked token for 600 steel and 1 clan token for 2,000 steel. So do know and keep that in mind. If you do have any of those tokens, they are going to be switched into steel. If you haven't had a chance to obtain camouflage in exchange for ranked or clan tokens, you have an opportunity to acquire them for steel in update 20.7. The cost will be updated but kept at a similar rate. So that's what they've basically done. They have decided that 1 ranked token is worth 600 steel and 1 clan token is worth 2,000 steel. Basically is how they've broken that down. The Battle Pass of Update 12.7, there's honestly nothing exciting in this Battle Pass yet again. It's just them often putting more tokens or their temporary in-game sources. This time, the final reward for the free Battle Pass is a bonus package of any Tier 7 ship that you want, which honestly, that's pretty nice. The Premium Battle Pass offers more valuable in-game items, and its final reward being 10,000 research points. I mean, it's going to take you 20,000 to pick up any of the unique upgrades in the Armory if you have access to the Research Bro, which if I just flip back over here into my Armory, or sorry, I said 20,000, 19,200, just slightly less. So you can pick up that, or you can of course pick up ships, which the cheapest one is Palio Emilio for 43,000, so that Battle Pass times 3. So I would say that if you're watching your dollars and you don't spend too much money on the game, this is a Battle Pass. The Premium Battle Pass, I would say skip it, but you're going to get at least a Tier 7 bonus package. So throw that on your favorite ship. You know, for me, I might throw that something like Prinz Heinrich. I really like playing that German Tier 7 cruiser on that tech tree ship. Visual and audio enhancements in update 12.7. High definition textures are being added to the New York port, as well as New Dawn, polar, and island maps. These 3 maps also feature an updated collision model for islands that exactly matches their contours. This will reduce the number of situations where ships get stuck near them. So we can just see the updates on New Dawn. Kind of cool. Polar. So yeah, it looks like they kind of cleaned up the borders a little more. Islands. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Okay, moving on. The maps with high definition textures will have more birds and fish added to them. Players will notice sharks and dolphins will appear to accompany their ships during calm moments of battle. So I'm assuming when they say calm moments of battle, it means when you're not firing your guns, enemy shells aren't landing around your ship. I'm assuming is when these dolphins and sharks will be accompanying your ship. Kind of funny if you have shells land in the water like right on the dolphin. Art department always caring, but in terms of game mechanic, you know, I'd rather them take the time in figuring out why I can't division up with my clanmates who are in port the same time as I am, and the UI shows them as being offline, and Wargaming scene doesn't seem to know what causes that. That's what I would kind of like them to invest more resources into, but hey, you get dolphins and you get sharks. So, Wargaming, they've also done some more visual graphics, unfolding of antennas, funnels on a number of aircraft carriers, rotation of funnels on a few French battleships in Ruggiero. Visuals at low graphic quality settings have been improved to the point of being practically the same as the visuals at higher graphics quality settings of 2021. There was a big jump they did there. When I say big, it was you could see a difference. The game performance at the lowest quality graphics setting has also been improved. So it looks like the one on the right here is the higher quality, and the one on the left is lower quality because they don't have trees. So audio, they've updated the sound effects for guns firing. I've heard a little bit of this on public test server. It's kind of like secondary sounded really weird. And waves crashing or dashing against ship bows. So there's more of that if you're really into that. I don't care too much. I'd rather them work on the game mechanics. Armory, they have new unique upgrades coming for Petropavlovsk and Manfred von Richthofen for 19,200 research bureau points each. For the Petropavlovsk in the 6 slots, your AP shell damage plus 10%, maximum dispersion of your main battery guns negative 10%, so it means you're getting tighter vertical and horizontal maximum dispersion. Number of consumable charges -1. So in exchange for getting better performing guns, you're giving up an additional radar, hydro and such. I think you get hydro in Petropavlovsk. Aerodynamic torpedo fin stabilizers is installed on the Manfred von Richthofen. Torpedo bomber HP plus 15%, maximum torpedo damage plus 10%, torpedo arming distance -10%. So these are all good things. So you don't need as much distance where torpedoes are armed. They're going to do more damage, and your torpedoes, bomber planes, are going to have more health. Speaking of Brisbane, a lot of people were just asking in the Twitch channel. I was watching the 4 new dorky ships they just released with another tier 10 Russian cruiser premiums, the 7th one or just 7th Russian cruiser tier 10 of the game. But now we get the release of Brisbane. She'll become available for 252,000 coal. Let's look at my ships and let's look for coal. That sounds. How is that? Okay, so a little more expensive than Yoshino. How much was Salem? 240. Okay, so same price as Napoli. Napoli was 252,000. And my coal reserves, I splurged a little bit and getting some more lower tiered coal ships in advance before the Christmas event. So I'm like basically like 96k down. So I really wanted this ship. Why didn't they give I would have liked to have known. I probably wouldn't have splurged on the ships if I knew Brisbane was coming. Alright, anyhow, 252,000 coal. Ship is very similar to Minotaur, except she's equipped with high explosive, and her AP shells have standard parameters for the ship type. With enhanced torpedo armament. The ship's torpedoes have a large count per salvo, good range. The ship has weak armor but low detectability. She's also equipped with specialized repair teams, which allow you to restore significant part of her health pool. In addition to the specialized repair team, the ship has access to hydroacoustic search and surveillance radar. The cruiser also boasts improved engine parameters, and they allow Brisbane to gain speed quickly. So basically, you don't get smoke. This ship was a lot of fun for me to watch, it being used in the last King of the Seas tournament. So I very much want the ship. So now I have to save my coal, and I guess I'll probably pick it up with the coupon, but I actually have enough steel to pick up another steel ship. So So yeah, I'm very much interested in that. Continuing on, trade-in. During the first 2 weeks of update 12.7, a special tab called Trade-in will be added to the Armory. There, players can decommission certain Tier 5 through Tier 10 premium and special ships, including rare ones. Doing so will grant significant discounts on a number of other ships obtainable for doubloons. So they put this in a development blog. I'll just briefly open it real quick. It's not the best in terms of the trade-in value. So basically, here's the ships to get. It's these here. There's no, you're not picking up Smallland. You're not getting Benham. You're not getting a Missouri. It's pretty much the standard ships that are presently available in the game. So the question becomes, do you have a premium ship, a ship to trade, that you just never play, and that they would consider of being more value? So like a Dockyard ship, a ship that's really rare is going to give you more of a doubloon value versus a just normal Armory ship. So like for myself, I have Heisen. I don't like the ship. I never play it. So I'm looking to get rid of Heisen. I'm like, well, can I exchange? Can I give up Heisen? And could I get like, could I get Boise? Could I get at no additional cost, right? So I am very curious to see what that looks like. But it won't be even by that means. So just don't have high expectations that you're going to be able to trade ships for free. It'd have to be a very higher tier, probably a very rare ship for a lower tier for it to be completely free. And if there's any, like, let's say, oh yeah, your ship's worth 12,000 doubloons, and the ship you're getting is 9,000 doubloons, right? And they're like, oh yeah, you got a really rare Smallland, so you're just gonna get this ship for free, but we'd give you another 500 doubloons, is what your ship's value is worth, that much more, but we're not gonna make up any differences in the negative. So you won't get credited if your ship is so valuable and you're trading it for like a tier 7 as an example. So it's just another way for them to monetize a ship they've already sold you. Basically, that's how I would sum up the trade-in. Ranked battles, season 13 kicks off. You're gonna have 6v6 tier 8 ships in Bronze League, tier 9 ships in Silver, and Gold League. So probably a lot of people looking to get out of the tier 8 Bronze League to get into tier 9, maybe to avoid cruise or aircraft carriers. And maybe subs, but they're probably gonna release another dedicated article on their website soon. Same rule for keeping a star in the event of a loss, and the same for all leagues. Only the top XP earner on the losing team keeps the star. Clan battles will be coming a week after update 12.7. Clan battle season 2022, dubbed Anaconda, will commence. It'll be a 7v7 format with tier 10 ships and super ships. However, no aircraft carriers or submarines will be allowed in battle. You are not allowed more than one battleship, and you're not allowed more than one super ship per team. Now, restrictions for specific ships at this time, they'll change this probably as the season opens up. You will not be able to have any more than one Republic, Preußen, Ragnar, Gdansk, Petropavlovsk, Napoli, and Marseille in total. No more than 2 Kleberts, no more than 2 Marcels or Kleber or Marcel. It'd be funny if they end up changing that, like restricting it to only one. Banned ships: Ohio, Kremlin, St. Vincent, Smallland, and Condé. So in terms of the super ships, we're probably going to see Annapolis, pretty capable ship. We'll have to see in terms of the battleships what ends up popping up there. Brawls. The first, we'll see super ships battling in 1v1 format. So not a lot of players in the game have super ships, so you might have a longer queue waiting time, or you try to go for the prime time in the evenings. The second one will be a clash of tier 9 ships in 3v3, no more than 2 cruisers, 2 battleships, 2 destroyers, division up to 3 players, so you can do a full clan div carry if you wish. The third will pit super ships against each other in a 4v4 format. No more than 2 battleships and 2 destroyers. Aircraft carriers are not allowed. Divisions up to 4 players. I wonder if they're trying to increase the value and encouraging players to get super ships who like playing in Brawls. Oh my gosh, they got a lot. Various content, various improvements and changes. They upgraded the recommendation system, just like on the commander skills. Your upgrades will now be marked with a special icon that they recommend. I'm interested in seeing this because I do the upgrade and commander build videos, so I want to see if these are actually decent recommendations, ones that would make sense or not, so we'll have to see. They updated the distinctive insignia updates, or insignias, so you can update it and make it a little more personalized if you so desire. So the Patch Architect tab has been added, allowing players to create their own patches by combining different available elements: the symbol, patch shape, border color, background color, and texture. You'll also be able to generate a random patch from the available elements. Players will get access to background and border colors, as well as patch textures to correspond to distinctive insignia already have on their accounts. Clan backgrounds patch will be updated. The pentagon and shield will become available. Players with 2 or 3 pentagon clan backgrounds will be compensated with 1 to 2,000 gold respectively. Categorization of symbol patches and emblems is being added. However, we've improved rendering technology patches, including existing ones that look a little more realistic. So like this is the standard one and all black. That looks really cool. Like that's not bad at all. So you can see Naval Architect, and there's some dice there. If you, I guess maybe that's what you click on if you want to have a random one generated. Patch, emblems, symbol shape, background trim, texture. Okay. Here's a patch. Very cool. And then your emblems. So they look a little more realistic, so I'm assuming your emblems you won't be able to customize at all. It's just the patches. Battle type selection screen update. They reworked it. The upper section of the screen will display the permanently available battle types, and the lower section will display the temporary and seasonal types. Okay, so like, you know, like Brawl concealed maneuvers, you can only, you know, they're only here for a temporary time, right? But it's also annoying with those because usually you can only play them in prime time. So like, I think in US it's like 12 p.m. and after you can play Brawl or concealed maneuvers. Like for me in Norway it's like 6 p.m. And I was saying 12 p.m. as being Eastern Standard Time. So that's just a little helpful thing. So ship futures update, amounts recommended. Oof. It looks decent with what they recommended. Features of your commander. So looks like they got a particular commander on there. Okay. Okay, that's good. Welcome that. Return of Arpeggio Blue Steel. So if you want Arp Congo, I feel like I was talking with someone in comments that was talking about Arp Congo, or maybe it was the high school fleet collaboration. There's Arp Maya, Arp Takao, Musashi, and Arp Yamato. So, players who enjoy this, your chance is coming. It looks like they're going to do some containers as well. And you have a 6% chance of pulling a ship, 1.5% chance of that being Yamato, and the other 4.5% being of one of the other ships. If you already have all the items from the ship group, you will receive 96,000 Elite Commander XP instead. Content additions and changes. The free wind permanent camouflage for Numancia? Maybe that's how you say it. And Adventure Le Fantasque coming to the game, so interesting. And then Navigator, Treasures, and Warring Bear patches. Some flags there. Commander Ushakov with individual voiceover. Flags premium container. Future updates. The following ships have been added to testing by developers, super testers, and community contributors. These are the new Japanese battleships. So these are the tech tree ones, and then the Tsurgi is the premium one they intend to add. German carriers containers will be renamed to German reserves. Other changes and improvements, the really big one here, which was super annoying, and I don't know why it took them like a year to fix this, was that they fixed an issue that caused submarine-launched acoustic torpedoes to deal damage to ships despite passing by them, right? So you would dodge a torpedo, dodge, air quotes, and then it would detonate beside you and deal damage to your ship, even though you dodged it. So there was a lot of, you would watch Twitch streamers of World of Warships, content creators get rather flustered by it. So I'm glad to see that they finally fixed that. The other thing is they changed, which I welcome, and it was a little annoying for me, was the open all containers button on the barge will now appear if a player has 2 or more containers. So basically, you could have 2 containers and you still had to open them both individually, when I just wanted to be able to open both of the 2 containers I have in trying to save time. It was a very, very small little thing, but I welcome this change, so that's quite good in my mind. They also fixed an issue with Jaeger that caused the camera to incorrectly switch between torpedo launchers upon pressing the C key. Trying to think if there's anything else in particular that I felt was notable here. Other only notable thing is that they've, with West Virginia 44, the parameter has been increased, being the ship's turning circle radius from 670 to 750 meters. So, but they have a full list. They actually have a ton of things, but that's all I'm going to say for this, because this video is probably easily gone over 20 minutes, longer than what I was wanting to. So it's this balance of trying to make sure I cover everything well for you guys, but also just not diving off the deep end. And just being a rambling flimsy. So, what do I need to say in closing? There's so many things and tabs to close, as I want to just give you my closing thoughts on this update. Well, let's get up here to the top when I can see an overview of things. Now, I would say in terms of the Dockyard event, there's probably going to be people who whale it right off the get-go. I didn't actually see what they're going to give you if you do decide to whale it. No, they probably have it in an updated a specific article for the Dockyard ship itself. So I don't know if this ship is worth skipping or keeping. I'm interested. Just keep an eye out for some of the World of Warships community contributors or other content creators who will whale this, or just they get it for free basically. And being a community contributor, see what they have to say is my thoughts on that. Okay, the concealed maneuvers. Wargaming's. I mean, if they've implemented it, they're testing the smokescreen. I don't care so much about the smokescreen. It was a naval thing. The mines, of course, yeah, that was a naval thing, but it's just going to increase, probably becoming increasingly more and more of a passive game. Between submarines, hybrid ships, more planes in the game. We have a new tier 10 Russian cruiser that's going to be a hybrid cruiser. Now you have talking about mines, you know, players are getting shotgunned by submarines. So, I mean, I'm not joking. They're looking at putting this in random battles, and I think that's a huge mistake. Huge mistake, very bad on their part. If they keep it as its own battle type, yay, but Wargaming has said when they test new battle types, they're looking at implementing these things into random battles. That is the end goal outlook with these temporary battle types, as they've done with Arms Race. Grand battles, right? Grand battles with super ships. Now super ships are in random battles. And that's not that big of a deal. Dirigible Derby or Convoy, whatever. Now they're looking at putting that in randoms. Get too mixed up. They changed the names of it. And then there's also, well, Convoy is separate than what Dirigible Derby, then they changed it into Airship Escort. You know, that's looking to put in a randoms battle. Yeah, that's so hot. Steel Wheel, yeah, just wait on the ship if you can, get it cheaper later on. Probably 3 months is probably what I'm going to say. Is if Brisbane's coming out, it's probably been 3 months maybe since Brisbane first entered the game. Battle Pass, skip it. Get your free pass on the tier 7 premium economic, or just permanent economic bonus. You can run a tier 7 ship, one of your favorite tier 7 tech tree ships. Visual audio enhancements, cool. Armory, cool. Trade-in, cool. I'll do a designated video on this once they have given us more details on and give you more of my thoughts. We'll have to see. I'm not holding my breath. Or I'm holding my breath. It's probably not going to be that good. It'll be okay. It's an opportunity to get rid of some ships that you don't want, so I do welcome that. Ranked clan battles, you know, good for them not having CVs or subs in clan battles. That's good. Ranked battles, good to see it's not just all tier 10 and have some differences, tier 8 and then the tier 9 with silver and gold league. Brawls, cool. They want to do more super ships. And then some other changes, some other things happening in game. So, kind of an okay update. I don't think there's anything mind-boggling about this one in terms of it being bad. The biggest thing is what I'm concerned about is this. What I'm seeing them implement and testing in the game right now. If they put this in randoms battle, you're going to push more players away from the game. Just calling it what it is. They're being really good at every so often just putting something new in the game and pushing more and more players away from the game. So that's my concern in being a content creator of World of Warships and just seeing how it affects the community. They want to make money off of it, right? That's the goal. So anyhow, I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole with that. So if you like this update article, let me know in the comments. If you didn't, also let me know in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. You, the community, very interested in hearing and your thoughts on this. And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you subscribe, thanks so much. I appreciate it. And we'll catch you next time. Take care.